For the past 50 years, Iron Maiden's been one of the biggest and most ambitious metal bands in existence. Touring almost every single year for the past 50 years, releasing endless live concerts, albums, and even video games, along with having one of the best merch games in the damn business. But much like any other band, Iron Maiden has their own fair share of cancelled projects. And today, that's exactly what we're diving into. The cancelled media of Iron Maiden, going from video games to tours to albums. Let's get right into it. In 2006, Iron Maiden released their 14th studio album, A Matter of Life and Death. Iron Maiden was actually really proud of this album. When they went out on the road in 2006 to support the album, they actually played the album in its entirety. Something some fans weren't into, it's an ambitious move, and something I think is actually generally really cool. Whilst they're doing this, they're also talking about doing The Matter of Life and Death live. At first, it was planned on doing one of the 2006 shows and the album in its entirety live. But the tour got a bit of a weird reception due to not everyone loving the new album and not everyone wanted to hear the new album in its entirety live. So the plan shifts a little bit to Donington 2007. Donington's always been such a huge, important venue for Iron Maiden from their whole career. So when Maiden was playing there in 2007, it was a big deal for them. Now, at this point, the tour has changed a little bit. It wasn't the Matter of Life and Death tour, it was the Matter of the Beast tour. Originally planned to do 5 Number of the Beast songs and 5 Matter of Life and Death songs, which did turn into 4 Number of the Beast songs. And again, the plan was to do a live album from their Donington show for the Matter of the Beast tour. But here's where things get a little bit weird. Despite that was the plan, and fans to this day still ask for it to be released, it didn't happen. There's some speculation towards why it may have not happened. Maiden was starting the Summer Back in Time tour in 2008, and they're documenting the entire thing for the Flight 666 movie. There was the remaster of Live After Death coming out. They're slowly starting on the Final Frontier album. There's a lot going on in that short period of time. So another thing very well could be, due to how busy they were, it may have just got scrapped. It wasn't everyone's favorite album. Donington was actually live streamed, so a lot of people got to see it, and you can go watch the entire concert in good quality right now on YouTube. But regardless, towards what the reason was, A Matter of Life and Death Live got cancelled. In 1997, Iron Maiden was in between tours, and they released the Best of the Beast album, a compilation album of a lot of their greatest hits throughout their entire career, including one new song being Virus. On the Best of the Beast album, one thing they were working on was a video game called Melt. Melt was Iron Maiden's first take at a video game ever, and something they were clearly into because they did it again in 1999 for Ed Hunter. They pulled out a concept like that back in 2015 for the Speed of Light video, and they did their own video game once again for The Legacy of the Beast. One problem though, whilst Iron Maiden was actually in development of Melt, at the same time they're making Virtual 11, the band saw Melt and all thought it looked like total crap. Nobody was into it, they all thought it looked awful, and they ended up scrapping it due to how bad it looked. Which I want to say, oh, it's a shame, but honestly, if none of them were into it and they all thought it was crap, maybe it's a good thing, because we got something that was a little bit better a couple years later, being Ed Hunter. In 2019, Iron Maiden was going through North and South America for the second leg of the Legacy of the Beast tour. And one thing Bruce was saying in the show was that there would be no new songs played tonight, but next time we're here, it'll be under a new Iron Maiden album. Because right around that time, Iron Maiden was actually in development of Senjutsu. Now in 2020, Iron Maiden was going to be going out on the third and final leg of the Legacy of the Beast tour, because 2021, they'd be releasing Senjutsu and starting the Senjutsu tour. Now, there was a lot of talk about the Senjutsu tour. They talked about doing the album in its entirety. There was a lot of plans for what they could do with the stage setup, and, well, COVID happened. Maiden really wanted to finish up Legs of the Beast tour, and because COVID happened, it ended up being delayed to 2022. And 2022, as we remember, they started the show with Senjutsu, Stratego, and Writing on the Wall, because they're out of time for the Senjutsu tour to actually happen. Had there been no pandemic, 2022 would have actually been the final year of the Senjutsu tour, but instead it was the final year of the Legacy of the Beast tour. Now, we did get to see some things from that tour. We got to see the pagoda setup that they used at the beginning of the Legacy of the Beast 2022 tour. We got to see the Mobile Eddie. We got to see some of the artwork used for the Future Past tour in 2023. But the Senjutsu tour, as a dedicated album tour, did get cancelled. As I just mentioned, in 2023, we got the Future Past tour. Now, the Future Past tour was a hybrid tour of Senjutsu and Somewhere in Time. But as you've already gathered, this wasn't the plan. I've never actually seen what the official name of this tour was, but the plan was, after Senjutsu, Iron Maiden was going to hit the road for a retrospective tour of Somewhere in Time that people have been calling Summer Back in Time 2. What we know is Rhyme the Ancient Mariner would be in the set list, 2 Minutes Midnight would be in the set list, there would be at least 6 Summer in Time songs in the set list, with presumably The Prisoner being played live as well. This is also something that would have had a 2-year run, being 2023 and 2024 before we got to 2025, which would be the 50th anniversary tour. But due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we actually lost 2 full tours, 2 completely different set lists that had to be mashed into one for the Future Past tour, which I'm not complaining. The Future Past tour was an absolute blast, but would have been nice. And again, we still got to hear Caught Somewhere in Time. We still got to hear Alexander the Great. It was a great tour. But the full dedicated tour for Summer in Time did also get canceled. In 2012, Iron Maiden was out on the road for the Maiden England tour as a retrospective tour for Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Seventh son of a seventh son, seventh son of a seventh son, seventh son of a seventh son. Their whole thing was they'd be on the road playing 2/3 of the original Maiden England setlist, which brought some fun speculation towards what they'd actually be playing. We all figured they'd be playing a fair bit of Seventh Son material, but that's what the entire stage was set up to look like. But we did get some treats in there, like Afraid to Shoot Strangers and Phantom of the Opera. It was a great set list, nobody complained. But as some people may remember, in 2012, Iron Maiden was still doing the IMTV on YouTube. And they had one video that was showing the lighting setup of the Maiden England tour, and they actually showed the lighting guy's set list, which showed the full 17-song set list with 2 additional songs. One of them being Hallowed Be Thy Name, which wasn't played, and the other one being Infinite Dreams. Which means these 2 songs were songs that were strongly considered and likely reversed for the Maiden England tour, but ultimately got dropped. What's the huge shame about that is that was the retrospective tour for Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. They're not doing it again. So that was the chance to hear Infinite Dreams live. Now what happened? Well, in reversals, it may have just been a bad run. Because if Maiden's playing a song and it's just not going well live, they drop it. We got to actually see this at the beginning of 2010. During the beginning of the Final Frontier tour in 2010, one of the songs that was in the setlist was Passchendaele. And they said there was just 1 or 2 shows where the band wasn't fully connected playing it, they weren't at 100% playing it, so they ended up dropping it for Dance of Death for the rest of the Final Frontier tour. Do I have a problem with that? No, I don't. Dance of Death's great live. And it's great to see that Iron Maiden has that quality to them of, if it's not going well, we're not going to subject fans to a song that isn't going 100%. But it did also mean that it didn't get the time to get better. The band never got to get comfortable with it. And it was probably just a couple bad runs that made them drop it from the set list and, well, maybe drop it forever. Because we also didn't get it on this tour. In 2003, Blaze Bayley started production on the 10th Dimension album, being the second full-length solo album from Blaze Bayley after he was fired from Iron Maiden. And one of the things that he was planning on doing for this was a collaboration with Dave Murray on one of the songs. As you may have guessed, the plan was for Dave Murray to come in and do a solo on one of the songs for the 10th Dimension album. And unfortunately, it just didn't happen. So that was Iron Maiden Cancelled Media, and as always, I want to know, what do you think? Do you want more Cancelled Media videos like this? And was there anything on that list that surprised you or you just didn't know about? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe to what have you seen. I tend to post a couple times a week, and I'll see you later.